it started out a little awkwardly, which is fine. It's totally okay. Games do that. Sometimes that's what it's like. You sit at the table for the first time and everybody's a little nervous and everybody's, there's like all this like crazy energy and you sort of got to figure out like who wants to take the lead and who is going to, take what role and who wants to talk to who about what, and you get all that stuff figured out and the role playing starts, and then it just sort of it finds its own rhythm, and that's what happened. Well, I am still reeling from that awesome game last night. Well, technically tonight, I'm still awake, and guess what, y'all? The 1st of August is my 10th anniversary with my amazing and wonderful and beautiful and incredible wife, and so guess what? I'm not going to be doing a vlog on the 1st. However, I'm staying up late to record this for you, so I will still be posting a vlog on the 1st. And here we go, let's get right into it. Wow, I just want to do a recap of this incredible game session we just finished tonight. It was super fun, and I can't wait for next week. That's the bottom line, because the reality is that the folks came together and we got off to a rough start. It was funny and awesome and awkward because it's like we're playing the Essentials kit out, right? And everyone at the virtual table, is an experienced player. We're all, most of us are DMs, most of us have been playing for at least some time and have a good amount of experience. A few of us are YouTubers or, streamers or whatever. And so we kind of came to the table sort of knowing what we're doing, but not having had any experience playing with each other. In other words, we're not like a bunch of friends that are starting a new game. We're newcomers to the group starting a new game. And it was funny because we sort of like the beginning of the stream, the beginning of the video, I hope you'll check it out because it was totally exciting and fun. And I think this is going to be an incredible little short mini campaign. The beginning was a little like awkward, but still felt appropriate. It felt good because we're like, let's feel these characters out. One Crit Wonder is an amazing DM. I already know this because I've been in other games of his and I've seen other games of his, so I know what I was getting into on that level. Plus, he's running the stream at the same time, so just like all the props go to him for managing it all and bringing the group together in the first place. So that was awesome. We got the group into like who are these people? We started our role playing. We didn't have a session 0. The first, we could almost say that the first hour-ish of this game session was almost like having a session 0, where we sort of start figuring each other out. How did we start campaigning together, and it was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Once we sort of got into a little bit of a groove and everyone's sort of like personality was established and the interplay started happening between the different characters, it felt really awesome, and it felt like we're going to have a great run in this little mini adventure campaign of this, again, the D&D Essentials kit, starter set, whatever we want to call it, right? The Essentials kit adventure. The, Dragonspire Peak. Icespire Peak. Let me introduce you to the players in this amazing game. So, first and foremost, we had, of course, our amazing DM, none other than One Crit Wonder. Gotta give him so much props for running the stream and managing to the game and doing it beautifully and nearly seamlessly. So, awesome start for our DM. Of course, we had the wonderful gnome, Zook, played by Aviad Tal. You can check him out on Beyond the Screen on YouTube, and of course, he's on Twitter as well. Jamriel, our bard, is played by the Curious Owlbear. You check him out on Twitter. And as well, we had Longtooth, played by the DM behind the screen. He is Jormir on Twitter and brought an awesome level of seriousness to the and level-headedness to the group already, which I absolutely love. We have Curtis and Valerie, both from Roll Initiative. That's Roll ROLE, of course, Roll Initiative, and they played respectively Curtis as Rathian and Valerie as Cazador. These two are going to both be interesting characters. I think of the group, they have the most sordid pasts, and so I'm curious to see how that sort of plays out in the role playing and the party dynamic as we move forward. It's already created a few interesting moments and some fun adventure already, so that's awesome. And then I am playing Alum, and so that's the cast of characters. And well, it was again, it started out a little awkwardly, which is fine. It's totally okay. Like, that's fine. Some games do that. Sometimes that's what it's like. You sit at the table for the first time and everybody's a little nervous and everybody's, there's like all this like crazy energy, and you sort of got to figure out like who wants to take the lead and who is going to, take what role and who wants to talk to who about what, and you get all that stuff figured out and the role playing starts, and then it just sort of finds its own rhythm, and that's what happened. So we actually I feel like we made great progress in this. I'd love to get One Crit Wonder's feedback, or where he thinks like how we did as far as the progress of the story, because we went into the town of Phandalin, and there's no spoilers here. I'm just going to share what we did. We went into the town of Phandalin. We saw the bounty board. We started out with 3 characters who had just traveled from Waterdeep. So that would be Alum, my character, Zook, and Jamriel. The 3 of us came into town. We go to the bounty board, and we see, oh, there's some bounties, but we don't really know this area at all, so we need a guide. So we go to find a guide. Then we meet Rathian first, and he's like, yeah, I think I know a guy. And he takes us to meet Longtooth and subsequently Cazador, because they all sort of are hanging out at the same, like Longtooth has sort of a lodge or a cabin or something in the woods. He's a hunter, he's a ranger in the area, so he like keeps things under control. He hunts actually and trades the meat and the fur and skin and stuff in town. And Cazador found him, and she decided it was a safe place for her to hang out for a while. And also Rathian knows Longtooth, and well, we don't know why he is there yet, but it sounded like he's trying to keep a low profile. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about like who is this character that wears all the armor, and yet he just doesn't seem to want people to know his business. and who's this strange wood elf that is like, she's got pointy teeth, and she's like very wild. Calling her wild is probably a stretch. She's like almost feral. But she can communicate, she can talk, and but yeah, very much a child of the forest. So I can't wait to find out more about her story. I mean, that was what's cool. I think everybody felt that after this first session, like these characters are all like really interesting. Like, we want to know, like, who are these characters? What is this bard? What is this city slicker of a bard doing out in the middle of the wilderness hunting dragons? And same with this odd gnomish inventor again, kind of a city slicker out in the wilderness. And then, of course, my character, Alum, is a bit of a conundrum, probably, or a bit of a yeah, puzzle as well. Masked, weird, strange, exotic robes, and all of this. Probably an odd way of talking, and so yeah, it was just so awesome. It's so and what was hysterical to me is here's this ranger Longtooth who on some level is like the most grounded member of the party already, and it was awesome. It was epic. It was super fun. I mean, for a session one, it was not. It was a little bit bumpy, and I feel like that actually made it even more enjoyable and more fun because it wasn't like this like beautifully orchestrated perfect first session. There was a little bit of like figuring things out, but like once we got rolling, we accomplished, I started to say, we accomplished one of the bounties already. Like, we made it through about half the session, a little more than half the session, and already had one of the bounties basically taken care of, and we're moving on to another bounty, which is awesome. Like, so that means, so essentially we had a lot of role playing, and we had 2 encounters, and that felt like a great, like a 3-hour session. It was awesome from beginning to end, in my opinion. I mean, I had a blast. I of course I was super hyped going into it, which always helps, but yet and still I can say I think we had a successful session, and it felt fun, and it seemed like everybody had a great time. In fact, we've already, in of course our Discord, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for next week. So kudos, good job everybody. I can't wait for next week. Stay tuned for more. I will fill you in. I'll do recaps like this probably every week, but I hope you will come by and join us for the live game next Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific or 9:30 Eastern. I have been Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you at a table someday. And keep rolling 20s. Remember, it's your game. Play your way. Okay, so let me introduce, let me say who were the characters. The Curious Owlbear. He's on Twitter, and I just bumped this. I'm not gonna do that.